All right, give me my, what do you have my marker?
Jeez. I don't.
All right, so Brewster is still going to happen.
Okay.
He's just not going to have an engine.
Let's address our trip to Jacksonville. Started off good. The plan was Cassie and Shane would ride with me to Jacksonville. I would drop them off at the Uhaul dealership. They would purchase the Uhaul truck that we were told was available, and that we could come pick up today. Bullshit.
And the main reason is because, honestly, let's be honest, Uhaul pissed me off. We were ready to buy that truck and we would have been committed, but honestly, I think they did me a huge favor.
Well, we get to the Uhaul place, and apparently their salesperson is gone for the day, and so they can't sell you a truck. And then they tell us that, well, any trucks that they could sell, all the catalytic converters were stolen off of, which was true for most of them. But there were some trucks out there that still had the cats on them, and we actually found one of those that we liked more, and they were still not able to sell us one for whatever reason, I don't know. I just can't imagine why you wouldn't want to make a $7,000 sale, an easy sale. We weren't even going to barter. We came in with cash, wanting to buy a truck, but they said screw you, so we said screw you too.
Again, our challenge with this thing is to get down to earth, right? How we're gonna pull it to the job site, but we can't be having to pass things down. We need it to be a drive-through like every other drive-through, so you can reach your hand out the window and, you know, converse with the customer.
Yeah.
So one idea that I had, this is gonna be so hard to draw. Okay, is take a trailer like this, and it'll have, and I'm gonna make kind of my version of a lowboy. And then you know, and have it be a gooseneck or something.
That's a strong kingpin right there.
If we do this down to the ground, I can take that container and we can just place the container on here, and same thing. Have a window here, and then have a window on the other side, and then.
But there's no box below the floor at that point because it's low enough, right?
Correct. This will be, you know, your ground clearance after you bring your frame and everything here. You don't be right here, and your ground will be like, you know.
You might be like a foot off the ground with all that.
And I don't love that. Even a foot, I mean, I'd be much happier if we were around 6 inches, and that's why that's not gonna happen.
Sure. So we're coming back from Jacksonville with no truck, but with a really nice container. So yeah, that should work out. Wrong. We now can no longer use that container. Basically, the state of Florida flipped us the bird on it and said, yeah, you're not gonna be able to build a coffee shop out of container. Plenty of people have tried to do things with containers, they've failed, you will too. So we decided not to build one out of a container. Kind of the same way we decided not to build coffee shops out of containers about a month ago. So I have a 20-foot container sitting by my shop that I'm now responsible to get rid of, along with 2 other 40-foot shipping containers that I'm responsible to get rid of. So fun.
I get to thinking about ice houses, ice castles. You know what those are?
I'm not familiar.
Nope.
Grumpy old men. You seen Grumpy Old Men?
I've probably never seen that movie.
Like an ice house on a lake, on a frozen lake?
Yeah, on a frozen lake.
Gotcha.
So basically,
Tracking took me.
they do some, I need to do a little fancier version of what most of those are, right? So, but I want to be able to lower it down to the ground and have the wheels come up. And I've done some research, and there's actually a lot of different variations of those out there, including some of them that are done with hydraulics.
Mm-hmm.
So I've went back and forth on building one because it'd be cooler if we built it, and I still think I'd like to maybe do that one day. But I landed on buying one instead. So I'm just buying the frame, and here's how it's going to work, because this is really cool. So it's going to look like a box. And then there'll be 2 wheels basically that fold up into it right here, and then we'll cover those up. And then of course, again, the same thing, we'll have a window on it. And I'm gonna, and so with the first version of Brewster, it was all about making Brewster, you know, kind of taking on the Rattler effect and just making it really rad and cool and weird.
Mm-hmm.
with this, I think the new effect is gonna be, I want it to not look like a trailer. So I wanna have a concession. Basically, I wanna have a mobile drive-through that you can't hardly tell that it's a trailer, as close as I can get to that. So that's gonna be the new cool factor. So I'm gonna build something up here. Again, I don't know if I'm gonna make that fold or how tall it's gonna be, because if it gets too tall, I'm gonna have to fold them in. But I got a lot of stuff. I don't have that all completely worked out yet. But this will sit on the ground. So I'm literally starting out 6 inches off the ground. And it'll be on the ground. And it'll just be, it won't be a container. I played with that, but containers are just too heavy for the type of axles we're gonna have to use. And there's just complications. So what happens is that it's really kind of cool. And this is all hydraulic. Your tongue comes out here, but it breaks right here. And literally hydraulically, this part here can go up and down. So you can, hooked onto your truck, you can set this thing right down on the ground flat. And then you just lift your tongue up a little bit more and drive your truck out of there. Your generator and stuff will be up here on the front.
Are the axles hydraulic too? How do they disappear?
Remote control.
Sure.
We'll have a button. It just raises up and you drive it home.
And then you just have like a panel that you'll attach over them to cover them? Or will they be exposed?
No, I'm gonna design it in a way that hopefully it'll be completely invisible, or at least be artsy enough that you think it's cool, but you won't know it's a trailer by looking at that part. This stuff here, we'll have to put some sort of cool frame around or something. We'll set it up. It requires some setup. Rather, what I'm thinking we can do is get some like chain link fence gates, and I can build some cool stand brackets so you can just put 2 gates up that's shaped like a V, put some banners on them or something. And because when you drive up, it'll just be kind of like drive-through-ish and not see it. I just gotta be really careful what I do, because that's gonna be putting out heat.
Yeah.
And then also it's gonna be close to the window, so I'm worried about how loud it's gonna be. I got all these, we gotta work through some stuff.
Is this still a double-sided drive-through?
Yeah. I was gonna put one on that end and one on that end, but I've been playing around with the design and I don't know how to do it, because I want it to have a canopy, all of that kind of stuff, and trying to do this on both sides, it was just gonna be a square. I don't want it to be that. I'm picturing, doing something unique and having this look like a building when I'm done.
Cool design on the outside.
I thought you might like that. And then on the inside, I can say I'll play with it and I'll get something drawn up and we'll make sure that it's functional. So that is where I'm landing. I realize this is a little different than this drop down through the floor idea that I had, which was genius, by the way. All right, so right now the work's all on me, guys. I'm gonna go design this so that we know what we got. And then Cassie, there's gonna be a ton of work that comes out of this, because this ain't a container anymore.
So you're custom fabricating everything?
Everything from the ground up, yep.
Shane, can we leave containers in the past, please? Let's just make the decision. We're not gonna use them anymore. Containers, no go. Let's stop buying containers.
Like I say, it got a lot easier. You don't know how much work I've saved you, but, because I had a plan, but getting the axles the way that I wanted to do it and everything was getting complicated, so I'm kind of torn, to be honest with you, for the cost of what they get for the hydraulic trailer versus what I could build it for. I mean, yeah, we could save some money, but part of me is thinking we should keep focusing our efforts on the build. So we'll see where that goes in the future. It's gonna be cool no matter what. It's just, you know me, I don't like not being the one that built it. So that's it. If you don't have any questions, then I'm done.
Good deal.